The first exam is IIFT. So I will go by the order in which you write the exams. The second is SNAP. The third is ZAT, and the fourth is TIS, right? And in IIFT, around, I would say, 14 to 13% of the paper is from GK. In SNAP, 20% of the entire paper is from GK. In ZAT, the relief is that in the actual marks, file uploaded failed. Just a moment, it will come. That the GK is not considered while giving calls. It is not considered as the part of the your scorecard. It might play some role in the GDP after the cutoff has been cleared by the student. This also has, I think, a good weightage is given to TIS. I think it is more than 20%. I don't know the exact figures. I think it's more than 20%. MICA, yes, I would put it here because MICA, the cutoff is not very high. So even MICA has GK. And again, I don't know the exact percentage, but yes, it does play a significant role. It must be at least more than 10% plus. And yes, people are right. In 40%, it is in TIS. So you will find that apart from CAT, in fact, there are many exams in which the GK might play a very important role, right? So I would start with this thing that in IIFT you have 14 to 13% of the weightage. In SNAP you have 20% of the weightage. So uh, SNAP, it's very important. In TIS it's very important. First of all, I would just first. Last year, this is IIFT GK wise breakup. It is for the paper 2016. I will not say it is for the papers before that, but more or less, this is the kind of breakup we have seen. So if you look at the figures here, you will find that overwhelmingly there are 9 questions which come from areas of business affairs. And when I say business affairs, it includes questions on trade agreements, economics, business and economic decisions. So if there are any major business and economic decisions that have been taken in the country or at the international level this year, then you should definitely expect a question from that. And if I have to say, last year we had this question, that Jabong was acquired by which of the following firms? Correct. Last year we had, I will show you some last year questions and you will find that they are very much gettable if you are very smart with option elimination and how to basically fit the option. So even if you have only you know only one particular information and you don't know the others, you can still get the question. So people understand that business affairs will always carry much of the weightage, and these are not very intricate questions. Some of the broadly discussed issues, for example, if you look at the railway budget this year, what was the most important highlight of the railway budget? You had the rail budget and the railway budget being merged for the first time. So there could be a question that who presented the rail budget this year, and the answer would be that the rail budget was in fact merged with the union budget, and therefore there was no separate rail budget. So that is likely to become a question. The budget is usually presented in the upper house, sorry, in the lower house, that is the Lok Sabha, on this last or the second last day of February. But this year it was presented on the 1st of February. So again, this was a big change. So you might expect some good and significant questions, not very intricate questions. For example, you might have so many schemes passed by the government of India, but if there is some very important scheme, then you might have a question on that. But if it's a trivial scheme, you will not have a question on that. And secondly, it's very difficult for you as an aspirant. You're not preparing for UPSC or civil services examination, wherein you must be aware of every nitty-gritty of general knowledge. So please understand that anything that you touch at the broader level will help you get the right answer. And once you see the questions, you will realize that the questions are not so difficult as you take them to be. So understand, I will demonstrate some of the things to you as to Facebook, what kind of industry type Facebook is, and you can easily answer. You can say it is not luxury, not transport, not financial services. It is technology. Louis Vuitton is luxury, so definitely you can match B with 4. Visa, is financial services. Accenture then becomes business services. So you can use the elimination and you can arrive at the answer. Now, do you think you need GK for this kind of thing? I mean, do you need to know that that Visa is not a financial service, something which is so common and so conspicuous in your daily life? So, do you think you need preparation for this kind of thing? I don't say, uh, uh, people. Rakesh, just take care of this, people. Fine, people. So let's go to the next question now. So I hope you can see the kind of questions. Now look at this question. It came from, of course, general science category. But again, I'm repeating this. Anything that has that is very much generic. Which of the following best represents baking soda? And then you have four options here. It is very much manageable, isn't it? So it's not a difficult thing at all. So can you tell me? I mean, what was the cutoff last year for GK? You know. See, people understand GK carries 14 marks or 13 marks, and the cutoff does not go beyond 2 mark. I mean, at the most 2 or look at it was 0.99. Very good. So if the cutoff is 0.99 and you have got 0.5 here, 0.5 here, simply by using common sense, then should you allow the GK thing to really bother you so much? So if the cutoff is 1 marks, 1.5 marks or 2 marks, that means even if you get 4 questions correct confidently, then I think you have managed. So the point is that don't do too many wild guessing such that negative marking, 1/3 of the mark is negative. So if you take too many guesses, that means if you get 1 correct and you get 3 wrong, then it has balance. You will get 0. So people, my first suggestion is that don't panic and don't lose your confidence. As far as clearing the cutoff is concerned, it's not at all difficult. But as far as scoring is concerned, yes, total number of GK questions, I think you will have 26 or 28. Each question carrying 0.5 marks, half mark. So that means basically either 13 marks or 14 marks would be the weightage for the IIFT. In SNAP, you have 30 marks as the weightage. So SNAP gives greater weightage to GK. So we have seen two very simple questions, and if I have to go to some other very simple question, I would say this is not very simple. I think look at this question, 91st question. If you know any of the personalities here, you can easily match it. And I knew this one, so I can. It says here he was India's spin bowler. He had Test debut in 1979, and the total wicket taken was 136, and so on and so forth. In TISNET, 40% of the weightage is to GK. So I will take the TISNET part separately. Bishan Singh is the answer, right? And you know that Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, these are all boxers. So by elimination, by smart elimination, you can arrive at the answer. Correct. And again, I will show you a very, very simple question. My only point is to show you a question which by getting the ones which you get right, and you can easily manage at least 3 to 4 marks. Look at this question now. Which of the following is not an elected post in India? So you have president, you have prime minister, you have governor, you have chief minister. And then usually we know that the chief minister is elected, the prime minister is elected, the president also is elected, because you have seen this here. So this becomes the answer. So we have marked 3 questions effortlessly, getting 1.5 marks without taking any wild guess. And then you have this kind of Bollywood question. This is the first time we had, something coming from the entertainment part. And look at these actors and their films, debut film. And I think if you are a big Bollywood fan, I think you can manage this as well. So if I go through the entire paper, do you feel that getting 4 marks was a difficult, getting 2 marks was a difficult task? It's out of course it's out of context, but it does not need GK preparation as such. It's IIFT paper, yes. It does not need GK preparation as such. My only point is that I want to tell you that even without preparation, you will always have certain questions that you can manage to get correct. So if I go to the breakup part, last year we had 9 questions from the business affairs. And then we had, and you will always find questions from sports and entertainment. So whenever you have major sports, for example, I have given some of the topics that you must discuss. For example, if I scroll below here, some of the important areas that you must cover IIFT, that you must cover for IIFT GK. Now this is very important. People, you must follow this thing, because I have analyzed the past year papers of around 4 to 5 years. I think right from 2013, 2012. right? People don't worry about, see, books and authors. If you know, like for example, this year, which book Raghuram Rajan came up with? What is the book? I Do What I Do, right? And there was such a huge media coverage that even if you had just gone through the paper, you would remember it. So GK basically means remembering something which you had casually glanced, not preparation in the sense you are memorizing everything. So there might be a question that which of the following RBI governors launched his famous book I Do What I Do, and you might have options like Subbar Rao and Raghuram Rajan and Urjit Patel and Manmohan Singh, and then you will have to mark the answer. Correct, correct. So my point is that if you know that GK is your weak link, then try to clear the cutoff. But if you think it is your strong point, then try to score. And if you can't score in GK, just try to clear the cutoff, try to score in some other section. All kinds of people get calls. It all depends upon what is your strong point. So here is the first thing, people, you must keep in mind: awards and honors. And how many, look at these people. The Nobel Prize last year, in fact, in the first week of October, you will have all the Nobel Prize announcement. So go only for the year 2017. Don't go for the year 2015, 2016. Don't worry about that. Same applies to CMAT GK also. You might have some pictorial questions. The Magsaysay Award, the National Film Awards, the Oscar Awards, the Booker Prize, the Pulitzer Prize, the Gyanpith Award, and many more. So you just go through some of these and you will find that there would definitely be at least one question either from the Nobel Prize or from the Oscar Awards, maybe the National Filmfare Awards as well. But definitely, because the all awards of the, yes, contemporary. We had Dada Saheb Phalke Award once, I think, in 2015, I think the question came, which of the following received a Dada Saheb Phalke Award for this year? So they would not ask you 2010, 2011. That is not GK then. That is troubling the student, because there are almost 55 or maybe 60 recipients of Dada Saheb Phalke Award. History is not covered. Only, in fact, the least number of questions come from history. Look at this, only one question. So history should not bother you at all. And then look at the sports achievement. Or people understand whichever sport dominated the year. Last year we had the question on UEFA, that is the Euro, and which team did not make it to the quarterfinals. And this year you might have question on the Wimbledon, because we have seen some records, right? Two Grand Slams have been won by Roger Federer this year, and two Grand Slams have been won by Mr. The other guy, Rafael Nadal. And you might have questions on this, that who was the person who won the Wimbledon. So this was Rafael Nadal's which win. So anything, see, you have to prepare. So I know that anything can come under the sun. But the point is that if at all you have to prepare, you must keep these things in mind, because these are the primary things that you must focus on. The rest might be secondary or not so important. Sports achievement, people, please understand, you might have questions on the Indian Sports League, the Hockey League, in fact, there was a question on Pro Kabaddi League. You might have a question of Pro Kabaddi League. So I have seen questions on these things. Who was the winner of Indian Super League this year? Or who was the winner of the IPL, Indian Premier League this year? Then you might have which team did India face in the Women's World Cup final? So it's a major sport event. So when I say these kind of events, it's a major sport event that you must focus on. And please ignore all the trivial events. They will not ask you who was the quarter finalist in the Ranji Trophy. That kind of question is waste of time. Yes, you might have who was the highest wicket taker, but before that, I would rather ask you who was the semi-finalist, because that is more important from GK perspective. Business affairs, people understand, you should go through major business events such as mergers and acquisitions, CEOs of top-notch companies. I always have a feeling that you might have questions on CEOs of top-notch company. It's quite possible. So you have Mr. Let's say Satya Nadella of this. So you have all the Indian CEOs of multinational companies. Match the pair. So you have Sundar Pichai of Google, and you have to Vikram Pandit, I think, is of correct. So Mrs. Sikka, it can be anything. See, again, who is the Uber CEO, new Uber CEO? It's quite possible. So go through the CEOs of top-notch companies. Basic awareness of what the top companies deal in. their headquarters. We had a question on the headquarters of the companies. So many a time the company is very popular, but the headquarters is in some different in some different country altogether. In fact, every year I see questions on the international organizations. Where is the headquarter of World Bank? Where is the headquarter of the International Monetary Fund? Where is the headquarter of UNESCO? All the United Nations organization, you must know the headquarters. You might expect a question here and there. For example, this year we had this event, right? This International Court of Justice, right? We had Kulbhushan Jadhav being tried, or not tried, but the India. Yes. So where is Hague? So there might be a question that the International Court of Justice is located in which of the following countries? So instead of knowing the Hague, you must also know the country. The country is the country is Netherlands, correct? So this is the kind of question that you must expect. Are we clear about it, people? So my point is that don't think that it's going to be an IAS examination, because the more you make it bother you, the lesser would be your confidence in the examination. Correct. So let's go down a little here, and I have covered this. I have told you that international and trade blocks. See, there might be a question: is my voice breaking? I think everyone can hear it, or is it breaking? Who is the member of the European Union? Who left the European Union this year? Who are not the members of ASEAN? Where is the headquarters of the IMF? What is the difference between IMF and the World Bank? People, you must not take GK only from exam perspective, because once you clear your cutoff, you will find that these kind of things become very, very important. And I must tell you that whosoever is very well prepared with the GK part usually does well in the GDPI part. So please understand that it is not that GK starts here and ends here. Yes, I don't say that these would be asked in the interview, but it might have an impact. It's quite possible you might use your knowledge and write an essay on, let's say, the IMF and its functions, the World Bank and its functions, right? I hope you're following these people. Polity. You must know the major political events that swept the globe. When I say what is that political event, for example, I think Iran went to elections after a long, long time. Or, for example, Donald Trump has taken over. To which political party he belongs? In fact, many of you are following the US news, but how many of you know that Donald Trump belongs to which particular party? Is he a Republican or is he a Democrat? Are you getting my point, people? So these kind of things which are so obvious but still not known to people. Whatever he might be, my point is that you must know about it. There are 120 people right now attending the session, and I think I wonder how many of them know that Donald Trump belongs to the Republican Party, not to the Democrat. They might not even be knowing that in fact we have two parties only, that is the Democrat and the Republican. We don't have a third party system the way it is in India. I think the voice is fine, everyone else can hear me. So people, you must know the major political events, and when I say major, please stick only to major. Don't go to all kinds of, because I see that people are reading all kinds of PDF. It's good that you read, but you should not miss out on the critical things, because if you miss on the critical things, that means your entire effort has gone to waste. So you must have that memory. You must keep on testing yourself. So always take quizzes and ask questions randomly to your friend, and just throw a random question. Who is the CEO of, let's say Tata TCS, or who is the CEO of this company? Just to test your memory. Major elections, important political events of global impact, the heads of states of important countries. When I say important countries, I would not ask you the head of the state of Uganda and Somalia. How many? There are 180, 190 countries. How many of them can you remember? But I would definitely ask you I will ask you who is the head of, let's say, Great Britain or Russia or Japan. Correct. Something which is concerned with the economy. Who is the head of? Recently, we had the Brics meeting, right? Where was it conducted, people? China. Good. So who were the people representing their respective countries? From South Africa, who was the person? From China, who was the person? From India, who was the person? From Russia, who was the gentleman? From Brazil, who was the person? So from South Africa, we had Zuma. From China, we had Jinping. From India, we had Modi. From Russia, we had Putin. So there might be a match the column question, you know. Pick the BRICS leader and the respective head of the state. Are you getting my point? So it's a big, it's these are major nations, and you must know the heads of these nations. There is no point knowing the head of Congo or let's say Algeria. Are we clear about it? So BRICS headquarter, right? There might be a question, where is the BRICS headquarter? I don't know. BRICS is not an organization. It's a group. So it may not have the headquarter. I mean, I don't know, but it may not have the headquarter because it's not an organization. It's a union of countries. So there is no headquarter. Organizations have headquarters. So there might be an option, you know, there is no headquarter. People understand. Now we will come to the geography part. Luckily, geography and history don't come frequently in IIFT GK. You will have questions mostly on these kind of things that we have discussed. Though not many questions come in this area, in the past we have seen questions on countries and capitals. Always you will find that countries and capitals, it is the favorite of IIFT. Rivers and cities. I've always found questions on rivers and cities in IIFT. I think they love this kind of question. So in 2014 we had the FIFA World Cup, and immediately that year we had this question: which of the countries did not qualify for the 2014 FIFA World Cup semi-final? Because 2014 was the year of the World Cup, and immediately we had this question. I will come to that also. See, the only difference is in this you will have plenty of questions from government policies, from history, from geography. Which country has become the member of the World Trade Organization? It must have happened that year. Pranab Mukherjee is the dash president of Republic of India. Are we clear? So my point, people, is, so you must keep in mind that, look at this, match the country and the leader. So you have North Korea, Kim Jong-un; Japan, you have Shinzo Abe; China, Xi Jinping; Philippines, of course, has to be. So even if you have one difficult question, you will have three easy matches, and thereby you can get the right answer. So my point, people, is that you will always find that questions are doable. They are not so difficult. The winner of the Wimbledon men's singles finals, all that I spoke about a short while back, you can see so many questions coming from that. Man Booker Prize, it is awarded to the best book something. Just have a look. Right? So this is very important, people, and now I will just throw some questions at you, right? Some interesting questions. It has been designed by Bodhee Prep, and people, we have a nice GK package. So I will, at the end of the session, I will give you the link, and if anyone is, if you think that you need real good preparation for this, you can always look at the first question now. In the World Bank, the US has the largest voting power. Fine. Which of the following is, I have designed these questions, people. So this is copyrighted by Bodhee Prep. In the World Bank, the US has the largest voting power. Which of the following countries has the second largest voting power? Only Tejas, Republic of China, 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 everyone China. Please scroll down, people, you will see. Everyone says China. The answer is Japan. 20% of the voting rights is with US, and Japan has 6% plus. Again, I know it's a difficult question, but any guesses, people? Managing the balance of payments is the function of the IMF. Correct? International Monetary Fund. The job of IMF is to take care of the managing of balance of payments. Capital investment, reducing poverty, and promoting investments is basically the goal of the World Bank. So C is the answer. Managing the balance of payments. IMF versus World Bank. I will drop some PDF. Okay, people, don't worry about it. IMF versus World Bank. There's a huge difference between the two. You must have a good understanding as to how they are different. Okay, don't worry about it. So let's take some random questions, and Which among the following economists played a very important role in the formation of both the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund? Adam Smith was born way back in the 18th century. So he would not, and the World Bank is a 20th century organization. So we cannot have A as the answer. Milton Friedman, no. Keynes, John Maynard Keynes, played an important role in the formation of both the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. In fact, Keynes played a very important role in pulling America out of the Great Depression. Yes. There was a Great Depression in 1930 as well. Correct, 1929-30. And he was an economist. Now the next question. Jim Yong Kim is the current president of the World Bank. In which year did he take over the presidential duty? So it is 2012. The answer is 2012. Jim Yong Kim is from which country? Yes, people, any guesses? He is from which country? South Korea, China, Japan. No one says North Korea. Do you think the World Bank will have a North Korean as its president? Do you think the World Bank, in which 20% of the power is voting power is with the US, they will allow a North Korean to be the president? The World Bank president is always from the US. And Jim Yong Kim, though he was born in South Korea, he has become a naturalized American citizen. And therefore the answer is, of course, 2012. He took the presidential duty in 2012. Are we clear about it, people? So it is just one question, but it teaches you so many things. This is the way you must study. You don't study only one question. He is from South Korea. He was born in South Korea, but then he emigrated to the US, and there he has spent the rest of his life. So though he's from South Korea, you cannot call him a South Korean. So again, which of the following is not a component of the World Bank? And you will find that it is the International Monetary Fund. The rest, all other, are basically the components of the World Bank group. So this is the part of the World Bank, this is the part of the World Bank, this too is the part of World Bank group. In fact, I think there are, yes, it's an easy question. So you will definitely have easy question in the exam. Just ensure that you get those questions correct. And then Jim Yong Kim is the current president of the World Bank. In which country was he born? So I just discussed the 8th question, right? This is a good question. As of 2017, who among the following is the only Indian to be the chief economist of the World Bank? So you will always have questions in which you are likely to go wrong. So many people would mark Raghuram Rajan, many people would mark Amartya Sen, many people would mark none of the above. In fact, Kaushik Basu is the only Indian to have been the chief economist of the World Bank. I think his tenure ended in 2016 or 2017. And Raghuram Rajan was the IMF chief economist. Amartya Sen was not the chief economist of the World Bank. The only Indian to have been the chief economist is Kaushik Basu. So this is the kind of question you might come across. Something that you think is very easy, but it may not be very easy. How many non-Americans have been the president of the World Bank? Zero, because the World Bank's president always has to be from America. A non-American can never be the president of the World Bank. No wonder that they dominate or they dictate the global economy. And what is the reason behind that, people? Why do the Americans dictate the global economy? Can you just give me any guesses? Why do Americans dictate global economy? That's fine. But the World Bank was formed way back in 1945, right? What was the scenario in 1945? In 1945, what was the scenario? In 1945, the World War II ended and America came out as the most powerful nation on the earth. Britain had almost declined. Germany had lost the war. Soviet Union was a communist country. So Americans were very, very powerful in 1945. So when the World Bank was formed, they had a major say in that. And that is one of the reasons why they had 20% voting power in the World Bank. This is a good question from the budget. As per the Union budget of 2017, what is the limit of cash transaction in India? Everyone can manage this, right? 2 lakhs. Simple question. And there are people who would get even this kind of question incorrect. The 12th question, it says, who among the following presented the Union Budget 2017? And why is it Arun Jaitley? Because it is always the finance minister who presents the Union Budget. He was also the defense minister, right? What is the existing rate of taxation for the individual assessors between income 2.5 to 5 lakhs? This is percentage. This is 5%. This is 10%. This is 25%. Or 2.5%, I think, not 25. What is the answer? Is it 10% or is it 5%? I don't know. Some people say it is 5%. I think it is 5%. 5% is the assess. Please check that, people. See, it's a factual thing. It can be checked. I'm not very sure about the answer, though I was the one who designed the question, but I have forgotten it. This year, 2017 railway budget was presented before the Union budget, after the Union budget, together with the Union budget, none of the above. This kind of question we discussed a short while back, right? It was presented together with the Union budget. And this tradition has been changed after 92 years. That means for the past 92 years, that means the tradition goes back before independence, that the railway budget and the Union budget have always been presented separately in the Lok Sabha. This is the first time that they have been separated. So a 92-year tradition has come to an end. Right? So this could be a big, because this is a big event. Are you getting this point, people? This is a big event, and therefore you must be aware of this kind of thing. You might have a question on this. Now again I'm going, sir, yes, mostly it might, yes, it might come, I'm quite sure about it. Which finance minister has presented the budget the highest number of times? Yes, so you will say Pranab Mukherjee, Manmohan Singh and Morarji Desai, P. Chidambaram. Well, the answer is Morarji Desai. He has presented the Union budget 10 different times. On 10 occasions, he has presented the budget. Yes. We always think it is Pranab. Pranab Mukherjee comes close second. I think he has presented the budget 7 times. So the budget has been presented. So Morarji Desai has because he was part of the Congress government right from 1950-52 till I think he became the Prime Minister of the Janata Party. So he left Congress and then he joined Janata Party, and Morarji Desai has presented the budget. So this might be a slightly difficult question, but see, if you're reading about the budget and the finance minister, then you must also know some kind of subtle facts about these people, so that you get more information by tackling only just one kind of question. Again, this is a difficult question. You have article number. Again, the Union budget is usually present in the Lok Sabha in the month dash. Well, I don't know what is the answer to this question, people. The 18th question. Who among the following is the only woman to have held the position of the finance minister? Smriti Irani. Are you sure that she was? Do you think she was the finance minister? I doubt. She was never the finance minister. Meera Kumar was also not the finance minister. I doubt if she was the finance minister. I think Indira Gandhi, she has handled all kind of portfolio. She has been the finance minister, she has been the prime minister, she has been the defense minister. So all possible portfolio has been handled by Indira Gandhi. She has handled almost, yes, she is the all-rounder. Are you getting my point? So Indira Gandhi is the answer. She's in fact she could be the she could be the many first in yes she has been the defense minister as well. And I think there is one question I have designed on defense minister. Now there is one more interesting question. I will go a little lower. Which of the following railway minister has presented the railway budget the highest number of times? Because I was preparing a quiz on the budget, I thought of having these kind of questions. And this is a very interesting question. Lalu Prasad Yadav, are you sure about it? He has presented the highest number of times? No. Lalu Prasad is not the highest number of times. Meera Kumar's father, Jagjeevan Ram. You know who is Meera Kumar? She was the speaker last time. And this year she was basically contesting the presidential elections, right? So Meera Kumar's father was Jagjeevan Ram. And he has presented the railway budget highest number of times. And I think second comes Lalu Prasad Yadav. Lalu Prasad is second in number, but the railway budget has been presented the highest number of times by Jagjeevan Ram. Okay, people, so understand this interesting thing. Who was the first railway minister of independent India? Slightly static GK, but it's good if you know this kind of thing. Meera Kumar, Mamata Banerjee, Indira Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi. Yes? So don't say Indira Gandhi just because Indira Gandhi, I said Indira Gandhi has represented all kinds of. Mamata Banerjee was the first railway minister. Sorry. I think the question is incorrect. First woman railway minister or female railway minister. The question is incorrect. Who was the first female to be the railway minister of India? I mean, just imagine first railway minister would have been there in 1947. How can these people be born in 1947? Even Indira Gandhi was a toddler way back in 47. The first was John Mathai. John Mathai was the first railway minister, and the first woman railway minister, the first female railway minister was Mamata Banerjee. So this is the question I had in mind, but I missed the female word here. Yes, Didi was the correct. Now look at this it's very interesting. It's demonetization special quiz. How many times has independent India seen demonetization? 3 times or 2 times. 1978, 1946 and 2017. But 46 was not independent India, right? 1946 was not independent India. So this goes out. The answer is 78 and 2017. And therefore I would say that independent India has seen demonetization only 2 times. Simple question, not very difficult. But there are people, 22 is a very simple question. Which of the following notes were demonetized in the 2016 demonetization? Yes, both A and B. That easy question, right? The demonetization, I am telling you, people get wrong. Even such questions people get wrong. I have seen some very, very silly errors. I am just telling the students that there would always be questions which are so simple that getting them wrong shows that you are actually not fit to sit for. The demonetization of 2016 was implemented in which of the following months? So it's straight away the answer is November. Right? 24th question. At the time of demonetization, who was the governor of the RBI? So this kind of question you are likely to get wrong. Many of you would be confused between these two. Raghuram Rajan resigned in the month of September 2016, and I think on 4th September 2016, Urjit Patel took over as the new governor. So if Urjit Patel took over as the new governor in September 2016, then how can Raghuram Rajan be the RBI governor? Of course, the cabinet did take him into confidence while discussing the answer is B, right? Answer is B. So I will again go a little down here, and which of the following does not feature in the new 2000 rupees series currency notes? Ashoka Pillar, Mangalyaan, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan logo, none of the above. We have Ashoka Pillar, right? We had Swachh Bharat Abhiyan logo. We have that. The Swachh Bharat Abhiyan logo, the specs, if you have 2000 rupee note, please open it. You will find that the specs is there. So the Swachh Bharat. None of the above is the answer. Why? Because they all feature. Correct. Ashoka Pillar is there. We have the Mangalyaan. I think Ashoka Pillar is there. I think this is how it looks. The Ashoka Pillar. The lions at the top. So none of the above is the answer because they all feature in the new series. The emblem, yes, the emblem is there. And how many? Yes, how many languages? Good. So the moment you come across this kind of question, you must just slightly scratch your head and say how many official languages feature on the 2000 rupee currency note. How many languages, people? No, 17, not 16, 17. Go and have a look. 17 official languages. From how many? So the Indian constitution says how many official languages do we have? So out of 22 official languages, 17 official languages can be seen on the 2000 rupee note. So again, this is an additional information. This is the way you prepare for GK. Many of you were asking me, sir, how to prepare. I tell you, this is the way. This is the best way. Discussion. So the kind of questions we are discussing now, you will never forget. Because when you have one-to-one kind of a discussion, you tend to retain the information for a longer period of time. I can discuss that. I can take sessions once in a week. So don't worry about that. And I have more than 2000 GK questions with me. Audio visual makes sense. Yes. Post 2016 Indian bank demonetization, 5 new currency notes have been introduced. Which of the following is not one of them? $2000 has been introduced. 200 has been introduced. Rupees 1 also has been introduced. 5 has not been introduced. 5 goes out. Are you getting this point? 2000 was not there. 200 was not there. 1 was banned long time back. Now it has come back again. Post 2016. So there could be just so many questions from just one event. And what is that event? The Indian demonetization. Just one simple event, and you can have almost 20 questions from that. And that covers the entire event. Rupees 1, yes, rupees 1, and there is one more secret about rupees 1. Rupees 1 is not signed by the governor. Usually on the currency notes you have the sign of the governor, right? People, on the currency note you have the sign. Then on rupees 1 you don't have the sign of the governor. You have the sign of the finance secretary. On the 1 rupee note you have the sign of the finance secretary, not of the governor. This is one of those most interesting facts that even I did not know for a long time until I came here. I don't know, God knows why, but I do know that this is true. So on the 1 rupee note, yes, on the 1 rupee note the signature is of the finance secretary. No, this was there since a long time. Even when the note was not, even when the note was not in circulation, even before that, I don't know who. There must be someone who is the finance secretary. How many official languages of India can be found on the rupees 2000 banknote? Yes, we have discussed it. 17. Good. You have nailed it. In which of the following years was the Reserve Bank of India founded? Can be a very good question, people. It can be a very good question. 1950. Brilliant. 1950 is the 50. No, it is 1935. The right answer is D. The Reserve Bank of India was founded in 1935, and surprisingly, the State Bank of India is older than the Reserve Bank of India. It's wrong. The answer is 1935. The Reserve Bank of India has its existence before independence. In fact, this is true of most of the institutions of India. So if you look at the Parliament, if you look at the Supreme Court, if you look at the High Courts, if you look at all the major great institutions, they all have been established before 1947. So that goes to show what kind of legacy you inherited from the Britishers. Yes, RBI was nationalized in 40. Are you getting this point, people? So understand that whenever the years come, and if there is something which is very, very important, then it's quite possible that it must have been established before independence. This is a very interesting question. Which of the following is the highest denomination note ever printed by the RBI? 20,000, 2,000, 5,000 and 10,000. 10,000 is the answer. 10,000 is the highest denomination note printed by the RBI. I think the circulation was stopped in 1978. Just imagine, in those days, with a 10,000 rupee note, you could have bought the entire flat. So if you had the note, you could go to a builder and you can buy the entire flat just for 10,000. That is an interesting thing, you know. So I was wondering, how can the government allow no, I never saw it. I never saw it. I was not born. I'm young. Please don't imply that I'm an old man. So 10,000 rupee note went out of circulation long time back. Slightly older than 60. Okay, let's go to the next one now. Interesting question here, people. In which year the legend Satyamev Jayate was incorporated under the national emblem for the first time? God knows. I don't know why they issued this. The answer is 1980. We had the emblem, right? The three lions. We had the emblem, the three lions. Correct. But the Satyamev Jayate below it was incorporated in 1980. Before that, the Satyamev Jayate was. In fact, last year we had a question that Satyamev Jayate is from which of the following books? So it is from Mondaka Upanishad. Yes, it came last year in IIFT. So we are discussing something similar and on similar lines. Now this is again a very good question from this year's elections. Which of the following states did not go to elections in 2017? Yes. Punjab went to elections. So who is the chief minister, people? So this is how you must study. The moment you get a question, try to answer around 7 to 8 questions on that. The Punjab went to elections. So who is the chief minister? Captain Amrinder Singh. Who is the chief minister? Adityanath. Now you have a difficulty. Manipur. Now you don't know because he is not often in the limelight. But there might be a question: who is the CM of Manipur? Biren Singh. Biren Singh is the CM of. I think it's Biren Singh. Okay. Which of the following chief ministers is not correctly matched? Goa, a very simple option, because the moment I said Biren Singh, this becomes very clear. So you will have the only option. People usually confuse Suresh Prabhu with Parikar. Manohar Parikar, and I know for what reason Manohar Parikar and Prabhu are always confused because they both have the same name, Manohar and Suresh, Parikar and Prabhu. So they both, I always get confused when I get these two names. So it might be. Look, this is an interesting question here. None of the above or nota was added as an option on the voting machines of India in which of the following years? You know that our voting machine has the option none of the above. So if you don't want to vote for anyone, you can simply press Nota. Which year? 2014. Right. In 2014, we had this Nota thing. In one of the recent elections, after the winner, the second highest vote was in the Nota category. I don't know which constituency. I think it was in Goa. In one of the Goa constituency, yes, after the winner, the second highest number of votes was for the Nota. Yes, so this is who among the following is the Chief Election Commissioner of India? Yes, Achal Kumar Jyoti. You must know the names of the high officials. This is very important, people. You must know the names of the high officials, because usually the president of the Niti Ayog, the chairperson of the Niti Ayog, the chairperson of the chief election commissioner, the Supreme Court, just the Chief Justice of India, the Attorney General, all these kind of things you will definitely get, and the chances are very high. I don't say you will definitely get, the chances are very high. And therefore, if you want to stay safe and if you don't have much time, at least you go through these kind of questions. Mr. Deepak Misra. Deepak Misra is the current Chief Justice of India. Who among the this is a very simple question. Anyone who is familiar with polity can answer this. Who among the following appoints the Chief Election Commissioner? Now the problem is, many a time we get confused between the functions of the Chief Justice and the functions of the President. But please understand that it is the President who appoints the key officials. Only in the absence of the President will the Chief Justice take over. All the major and critical appointments are done by the President. All the major. He is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. He appoints the Chief Election Commissioner. He appoints the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice. He appoints the governors of course, at the suggestion of the Prime Minister. In other words, the Prime Minister is the executive head, right? And the President is the nominal head. Naam ke liye. He is the head just for namesake. The power is with the Prime Minister. Are we clear about it? Yes, the President is just a puppet. He's just a stamp. That's why the Prime Minister always features in the news. No one even knows about the President. The poor fellow sits there and he's just relaxing and he's enjoying his tenure in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. But the Prime Minister is always there in the limelight. Even though the Constitution says that the highest citizen, the highest dignitary of the country is the President. So in the roll of honor, the President comes number one. But still, as far as the power is concerned, it is within the hands of the Prime Minister, not the President. Order of precedence, we call it as order of precedence. That means if you rank the notable people, then the President will come first. Who among the following can remove the Chief Election Commissioner from office? So if the President is appointing, then who can remove the Chief Election Commissioner? Yes, people. Very smart, right? The answer is D. None of the above. To remove the Chief Election Commissioner, you have to go by the votings in the Lok Sabha and the you have to go by the voting. The Chief Election Commissioner can be thrown out only by 2/3 of majority in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. You cannot throw him out just by getting the Prime Minister, the President. He is a very, very powerful guy. Understand this. He has to be impeached. Yes, he has to be impeached. The President also has to be impeached. And the Chief Election Commissioner also has to be impeached. And that is only by 2/3 of majority, not even by half majority. So these kind of questions you must know, people. Just get him and throw him out. He's a very powerful guy. The PM, who can remove the PM? Well, no confidence motion, isn't it? The PM can be removed by how? By what method? The no confidence motion. So if the BJP people feel that Modi ji is not good, then they can initiate no confidence motion and their own party members will not vote for Modi ji. And he would be out. See, though I am a BJP guy, I can vote not in favor of Modi ji. So and then he would be out. So I think to remove the Prime Minister, you have the no confidence motion. I think so. I'm not very sure about it, people. Yes, again an interesting question. People, look at this. Which of the following states has the lowest number of Vidhan Sabha seats? D. Goa. Sikkim. How can you forget Pondicherry, people? Pondicherry is a state, you know that? Just like Delhi. So if Pondicherry is a state, it is likely to have the lowest number of seats. And I say Vidhan Sabha, not Lok Sabha. Please understand, Lok Sabha is what you have in 7 in mind. Pondicherry and Delhi, they have some of the features of the state as well, and that's why we say Delhi Assembly elections. The state has its own assembly. It has a governor, lieutenant governor, while the union territory does not have its assembly. It is controlled by the center. Pondicherry and Delhi are the two states that have certain features of state as well. They have state rights given by the constitution. So they also are states at the same time. They are two in one, yes. The answer is Pondicherry. Pondicherry is the answer. Pondicherry has the lowest number of Vidhan Sabha seats. It's very small, yes. Yeah, now this is a good question. Who was the opposition's vice presidential nomination? And who is that person? Mr. Gopal Gandhi. Meera Kumar was there for the presidential. The question is about the vice presidential nomination. Gopal Gandhi, the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi. The great grandson, or the, I think he's a great grandson. Great grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, not the grandson. The great grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, Gopal Gandhi, was nominated as the, right? It is the vice presidential, not the presidential. Okay, so this kind of thing might come in the exam, people, particularly TIS. First female president, I think Pratibha Patil. We haven't seen any other females. I'm not sure, but I think it is Pratibha Patil, yes. Because I know the president's name at least, and none of them are females. Similar question. Venkaiah Naidu is the dash president of India. I think he is the 15th. I'm not very sure about it. You can check. I'm not very sure. So people, I'm just a little tired now. How is it going, people? I think many of you are enjoying. I can do this. I can do this. People, everyone seems to be very much engrossed in this, right? See, this is the way you must learn. I can take the sessions, of course, and it's going good. Yes, all very many questions, and this is the best way because you tend to remember. See, my point is that the moment you discuss this way, you will remember it for a long, long time. If you read, then you will forget. The very next day, you will forget. Humble request. The file is available, yes, and I will circulate this to all the different places that we post our links. Correct. GK questions can be very, very interesting, and the people, the moment they become interesting, you just don't cover only one question. In fact, you cover 20 different questions by knowing one good question. People, so I will create a WhatsApp group and I will take the sessions. Of course, how frequently I can't say. It depends on the other engagements as well. Okay. Yes, I will share it. Okay. So people, the questions there, I will check. The questions are available on this online dot. There are many questions here. Of course, the free sessions I will take. But if anyone is interested in basically getting through, because I designed trivia as well, so I put lots and lots of questions in the trivia form, and that usually helps the students to get better understanding. Because the moment you have trivia, people, it helps you a lot. Trivia will help you understand the different nuances So if there is a particular fact and behind that fact there is a story, and if you know the story, then the chances are that you will remember that fact for a longer period of time. So whenever you are doing GK, you just don't memorize everything. People just have a look here. Lots and lots of things are there. Yes, I was beating the mouse. People, verbal. My workshops are going on. Yes, yes, I will upload it. Don't worry. In fact, I will create a quiz form and I will give it to everyone. I have just sent a link. There is a quiz form available, and in the free things, I will put these kind of questions daily, and we can share it. People, verbal. I have started with the workshops. I don't know. None of you have came to know about it. That is surprising. But I started with the workshops from the 1st of September. Almost 80 to 90 people. I think 90 people have joined the workshop. For 90 people for verbal and almost 110 people for quant. And we have been promoting this since a long time. And I think Vamsi is a student already. He knows everything, the way things are going on. So my suggestion is that if people, yes, Yash Agrawal also is a. I know it's difficult to send the message to everyone, but if there is anyone who is interested in the workshop thing, yes, people, I will. You all have given your mail IDs, I hope, because all those who had expressed interest, we have their mail IDs, and I will post the link of the WhatsApp group on that mail ID. That way, you all can join straight away. Because the point is that it's difficult for me to add everyone individually. So I have already one group, and yes, the workshop thing is here. Rakesh sir has put the workshop thing, people. So the workshop is available, and anyone who is interested, because all the session sheets and all the videos are there, so you haven't missed anything, and you have 2 months with you. So even if you feel that there is still enough time, you can make up. You can always join the workshop, and I will personally be there to help you out as to how to go ahead about it. And there are many students who have joined the course who are sitting here right now, and they are testimony. They bear testimony to the kind of thing we have been doing. Yes, you can join the RC course for now. You can just have a look at the workshop, and if you have any query, you can always mail me, message me, because we are there on the social media, and you can always drop queries to us, and we are there to help you out. People, don't worry about that. My point is that whenever you study something, take interest. That way, you will enjoy. It will not be a pain for you. Whether it is verbal, whether it is quant, any kind of session, the moment you start enjoying it, the moment you start taking interest in it, you will feel that there is no need for you to memorize. And that is what I want to ensure with my students, that there is no need to memorize. In fact, quant can be super boring, right? It can be super boring. That's the point here, because when you join some kind of any tips in particular NMAT. Yes, IIFT GK national level, primary national level. See, Shasta says that he has enrolled for the workshop and it's fabulous. So she knows it. I mean, there are people, 110 students will not join just for the sake of joining. They definitely must have seen something.